Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever part of the planet you're on, which is the cool thing about the internet and streaming. Anyone on the planet can watch. Suck on that, Nielsen ratings. Okay, my name's Arctic. This is Arctic's Empire. And we're going to do another episode of This Lego's Lava. This was a previous build. Premise of the show is really simple. A set being built is lava, so you can't touch it with your bare hands, which is why there's a bunch of tools here. These are actually bought tools. As you can see, there's tons of them here. I'm slowly learning which ones are better suited for certain tasks than others. The nice bonus to the show is starting to show itself, and that is the making of tools. These are various Lego tools I've had to make in order to complete builds. Okay, now previous episodes will show all of these things in use, but I will be clipping some of this stuff out and posting that stuff on YouTube as well as clips to Twitch. Okay. Oh, there's no one. Yeah. So these are all tools of some sort. Some are tools, some are jigs and fixtures. And this particular build, the drill, I guess you'd call it, that was so far the most elaborate in requiring the most number of tools to actually build. And there's not much to it, but it took a while. I really enjoyed that build. Okay, so put that aside till we take it apart. Yeah, all this Lego is... Oh, there's another tool. Okay, so if it's a tool you make out of Lego, you can touch it. It's just the actual parts to the set, which are all sitting in here, you can't. Okay, so let's go now. As you see, I've actually put a handle on this one, so this piece and this piece are not part of the set, so hence I'm allowed to touch it. I think I'm generally going to be having some kind of a handle on most builds, because it's just easier to move the parts around. And plus, you pick them up. Now, if I have to do anything that requires force, I can just put a beam on the bottom, put it in place. Put the beam in place. Now I've got a way to really hold on to it. So, okay, so that's where we are. Now, as you can see from the notice, I need 12 more followers to make affiliate. I'm just shy of the 3 viewers required, so if there's a few people in here and I broadcast for a while, I should make my last 2 requirements, make affiliate, and then I can devote more of my time developing other shows I want to work on. Shows that won't have a following for a while, and so once I make affiliate, I don't have to worry about the requirements for being an affiliate. Okay, so that's everything dealt with. I think so. So I guess we're going to move on with a build. Okay. What is that? Oh, that was another jig. That was a part holder. So as you can see, I got tons of tools sitting here to be used. So this is where I left off on the last build. Page 35. Oh, let me start the timer. Okay. These 2 pieces, and as I've said, and you're probably eventually you'll get tired of hearing it, I do not do decals. So I skip that step all the time, and I think from now on I am going to skip the minifigs. I'll just put them together. They're really tedious and frustrating, and it's annoying for the sake of 5 pieces and trying to put their hats on. I've done enough of them that I have not come across a single minifig that I couldn't build as lava. So from now on, generally I'm just going to do, no, they're all buildable, so we're just going to skip that step and get into the really challenging or more challenging parts. Okay, so am I in the right spot? As you can see in the bottom left, there's a simple notation starting with regards to every step of a build that requires an extra step or requires a tool or a fixture or something that normal tools I can't continue on with. That's 2. And now so far, I mean, a number of people told me they really like the idea of the show. They think it's a really good idea. So I am just crossing my fingers that more and more people will take interest in this show. There we go. I try and orient the builds towards the cameras so you, the viewers, get a better view of what's going on. Although sometimes I get things backwards and I have to take a piece apart. I've done that a number of times. I would not make a very good dentist. So far this has been an interesting build. I've had to use some other tools. These canisters, putting them together and putting them on, that required a few tools, including a newer one, this one. That, I think, is the latest tool I've had to make. And I think I had to alter the order of the build. Yeah, because normally the build wanted the canister build, and then the pin, and then the dot. Yes, we hate dots. We really hate dots. And then you attach it by the pin in right here. Yeah. So what I did was I simply took the pin out, used this instead, inserted that in the hole, and then I could place it and then snap it in place. And then I put the pin and the dot. Yes, we hate dots, and I put that back in place. Sounds a little convoluted, sorry, but I'm definitely going to be posting video footage of it. I hope the footage comes out well, because I've taken photographs of some of this stuff, and by rights it would take 3 or 4 photographs to really illustrate and let people understand what's going on. This is a fixture, this piece is going into the fixture so that this piece can be added. So I'm hoping the video footage will be a little more clear to illustrate how these tools are being used. Oops. Whoops. Oh, come on. After everything I've been through to build these things, this is the part giving me troubles? Yep. Oh, I can't do that. Enough. Where are you? Let's see if this will do it. There we go. Take that out of there. I seem to spend most of my time using these 2 specific tweezers. I bought a pack. This is just one pack. $3. I got these and these. Oh, no, I think I got 2. Yeah, I got all of this. Where's the other one? Where the hell I just had? Oh, there it is. Stupid me. Yeah, all of that for $3. Yeah, I bought it at a dollar store for $3. It was great. It was a great deal. Ozzy, how are you, man? Thank you for showing up. Not that anyone knew I was going to be streaming today. It doesn't look like there's a lot of builders who stream on Fridays because, well, everyone's going out and having fun, so there's no need to be here. And if there's no one to watch, then why would you want to broadcast? Okay, so where was I? Next. Okay, so let's just put this off to the side. I'm going to try and pay attention and make sure all the building takes place within this area. I noticed the last few I seem to be trailing off to the side. And of course, if I'm building over here, you can't see what I'm doing. So I'm going to try and make more of an effort to make sure I'm always oriented towards the cameras and that you guys can see everything that's going on properly. Okay. Let's see if a little zooming might... I should consider trying to build a foot pedal so I can zoom the camera in and out without having to constantly pick up the remote. Be able to move the camera in and out because some of this stuff is a little more difficult to see. I apologize for not really being any music playing, but unfortunately the extra elements that I've added to the overlay is taxing my laptop to the point where I can't stream Pretzel. And I use Pretzel because they have ready set playlists of royalty-free music. So until I resolve my computer power issues, processing power, it's not so much for speed running, it's just the time, how long in general it's taking to do a build. So yeah, I think I was at an hour and 34 minutes into this particular build, which was basically this, minus the two fins. So it took me about an hour and a half to get to this point. And for whatever reason, this stopwatch, when I shut things down, remembers where it left off, so I don't have to reprogram it to continue on. Yeah, no, it's a habit to actually time the builds. I wouldn't consider it really a speed run because I'm not rushing through this, especially when it comes to all the tools that I've had to make in order to build certain parts of certain things. So yeah, I got a whole bunch of tools now that I've had to make. As you can see, there's lots of them. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and as you can see below the timer is it's just a simple little three column table in a Word document to try and track every time I have to build a tool or do something out of the ordinary to continue a step. Decals. Again, we don't do decals. Let's drop that down just so things don't go rolling off the table on me. So Ozzy, how you been? I haven't seen you in a while. I've been streaming a lot, but at odd times. And then with the other streamers, I've actually been streaming against, well, I was against, but at the same time, so the audience pool is only so large. Okay, now wait a minute. I'm good. I'm close to making an affiliate. Yesterday I needed 12 followers and I would have been an affiliate. And then when the calculations for the 30 days came through, the large audience I had got factored out. So I'm 2.45 viewers and I need 3. 3 average. So a little bit of a step backwards. But not a big deal. I mean, it's just a question of streaming. Okay, so where the hell? Okay, it's probably stuck underneath something. I am looking forward to getting farther in this build because of the axles. When playing with axles, that's when the tools come out. All the new stuff I had to build. Oh, cool. Yeah, you talked about you were working on a game on and off, and that you were recently restarting the project. I hope it's going well. Okay, Houston, we have a problem. We're missing a piece. At least we appear to be. This is a previous build. I built this a couple of years ago, and I only recently took it apart. Unfortunately, it got mixed in with some other sets, because I don't the amalgamate. Yeah, I don't combine all my sets. I always keep them separate. So unfortunately, a piece does not appear to be here. I mean, it's not important, it's just a detail piece, so I'll just put the one. Now the question is, how am I, oh, I see. So I'll just stand that up. Okay. Unfortunately, we're missing a piece, so I guess we should note that. Missing part. Okay. And we will continue on. This does not look like it's going to be easy, and unfortunately it's got dots, and we hate dots. Why do we hate dots? Because they're easy to lose. Oh, that was easy. Well, I think for this, we're going to use the Jaws of Life, as we're calling them. Yeah, I was at a Habitat for Humanity restore. It was $20. It's a director's chair. So far, I'm really happy with it. Whoops. No. Come here. You. Okay, and now for, as I call them, the Jaws of Life. Come here, you. Where are all the brick building fans? I need the audience, and I need the view. I need the followers. There we go. Okay, that part was cool. Okay, so now how are we going to mount it? I think we might build a stand for it. Let's see. Let's move this to the side. Don't know if that. Oh no, I'm taking apart other tools. I don't want to be doing that, but I don't have much of a choice. It's gotta be able to fit. Really? That seems really, really weird. Damn. Some of these is tough. Okay, so now, not enough. Fortunately, I don't have larger plates. That's as big as they get. So let's do a little bit of adding. My hand is melting. I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean. Okay. Let's put a little bracing on the back. And There. Okay. So hopefully that's enough. Oh, my hand is melting. Oh, did I? Sorry. Unless you mean this part. No, that's an extra piece I added. So that's a handle. So it's allowed. Otherwise, yeah, I may have accidentally touched it and I wasn't paying attention. And yeah, that's actually a no-no. Okay, so whoa. Whoops. Okay, so now I got a proper clamp on this now. And I'm going to... Okay. It's better. Okay, so all that work just so I can put this in. Okay, so... No. Okay, move it up. Sideways. Okay, maybe that's the best angle to show this. Okay, so all that work just to put the lights in. And as we are getting used to notation, notation, notation. So this was step 40. And tap. Okay. Okay, so another stand actually. This one might... Oh, I didn't bring my phone. Damn. Bradington as well. Thank you, I appreciate that. Bradington? Thank you. Yes, I definitely need to follow. I need 11 more follows, and then I make affiliate. I very much appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, my name's Arctic. This is Arctic Empire. That's what I call the whole part of the Twitch universe I live in. And this Lego is lava. So as you can see, the Lego set itself is lava. Any tools I make otherwise. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. If you want, hang around, find out about this silly way of building stuff, if you'd like. Feel free to ask questions. Okay. Oh, no. I keep forgetting. To return focus to... Okay, so... Alright, so I'm going to put this off to the side. Actually, maybe I'll just put him in the bin. While we build everything else now, I'm hoping that I will quickly need to start building more tools and relying on this stuff to my side in order to get the build complete. No. Yeah, no. Yeah, normal build is just, I decided to come up with this way of doing it. Just, I don't know why. It just came to me. So far, people are interested. Not a lot of people know about it, though, because unfortunately, I haven't been streaming as much as I should on a regular basis, and I keep streaming when other builders are streaming, and they have a following. I don't yet, so I'm just gonna have to wait and hope I catch on. Now, admittedly, this part of the builds are becoming a little boring to me, but soon I'm going to run into problems, and that's when I get to design tools to help me finish the job. Okay. Whoops. You hear a lot of that. Oh, look what's going on here. My tweezers are out of... Yeah, they're broken. I think. Yeah, they're out of alignment. So picking things up is becoming a bit more of an issue. Well, hopefully the dollar store still has more of these sets. So at $3 a piece, I might buy four of them, 4 sets. That's the whole idea. Well, that was the point initially. Now what it is a question of which Lego sets can be built this way. Because with the Technic sets in particular, I'm thinking there may be points where there is no way around it. You have to touch the parts with your bare hands. So it's a question of figuring out which ones. And if other people take an interest and start doing these kinds of builds, they may find solutions to stages in the build that I couldn't figure out. So maybe I might say a set, there's 6 steps where you have to use your hands. Someone might come out and figure out a way that it's only 3 steps that you have to use your hands. So it's a challenge to put out to anybody who's interested. Hence the notation on the bottom left. It's crude. And it needs more work, but yeah, I'm just slowly trying to keep track of what's going on. Alexa, next. Sorry about that. I spend so much time in here by myself that... patience. It's more about being interested. I said earlier in the show, minifigs, I'm not going to build them that way anymore. Like if I'm going to put him together, I'm just going to put him together because it's just so tedious putting them together. And I've made so many of them. It's like, as far as I'm concerned, virtually any minifig can be made as lava. So yeah, I'm not going to play around with them anymore. But other than that, it's coming up to the problems to solve that I think will keep this interesting to me and hopefully to anyone else who's watching. Hence, I mean, I don't really need the ramp, but what happens is in some of the builds there's a long slope, and if you try and put weight on it, you can see the part pops up. So if you put something underneath the front, that helps, or you can, and I actually have had to do this before. I'm not supposed to touch it, but just for the sake of illustration. So now, as well as another one. So now it doesn't move for the most part, and it doesn't take as much force to hold down the piece while I put it in. So I'm running into more situations where I'm constantly making these kinds of things. I mean, that's what that was. I just made this one a couple steps ago. And the other thing is that because it takes a lot longer, the set lasts longer. And you know, if you're used to building Lego, it's depressing when you're done because it's like, well, I'm finished. Now what? And you can play with it, but the fun part for me was always putting together and seeing what sort of principles they use for the design to lock pieces together and whatnot, and try and give it rigidity and sturdiness so it doesn't fall apart. But once you're done, it's done. Whereas you do it this way, it takes, admittedly, it takes hours to build a simple 300, 400 piece set. It takes generally 3 hours, I think. And I don't mind. I get to enjoy a single set for 3 hours plus, and I got to do some problem solving with it, and I get to share it with you guys. Yeah, I've only been on Twitch for a couple of months, so I've only been watching the builders, and most of the builders I've seen, they make their own stuff. They're all more creative than I am. At some point, well, I'm starting to be creative because I'm making tools to get the job done. But in terms of big, huge stuff that other people build, no, I'm not doing that. At least not yet. Maybe down the road I will. But I have about 25 Technic sets, I think. Some of them are older. I have one that's almost 40 years old, which I want to build. Once I get through them, then maybe I'll start just building normally. My plan is actually to do Technic sets normal, the normal build way, and then turn around and start trying to build them this way. Yeah, I noticed. I'm trying to remember how many pieces are in. I can't remember how many are in the castle. I have one Technic set that's 4,600 pieces, and it's a bucket shovel excavator. I don't know if you've ever seen one. They use them in Germany for pulling up the coal seams, and I mean it's about probably this long, that tall, and probably that wide. So that's the largest set I own, and I'm looking forward to at some point 6,000 pieces. I think I heard someone say, yeah. I don't have the funds for that right now, but if I ever figure out how to get my hands on one, yeah, I'll try and build it this way. There's also that huge Millennium Falcon, which is 7,000 pieces, I think they said. I've seen some footage of people building them, and they're having a great time because they're very complicated and very modular the way they go together. So yeah, if I can get my hands on one, I'll build it. I'll try. I'll see how many times I need to use my hands. But yeah, who knows? It might be possible to build the whole damn thing without ever actually touching a piece with my hands. So that's something I'm looking forward to into the future, especially once I make affiliate and I can then get subscriptions and bits and stuff like that, using that money towards buying the sets. And there's always Technic sets I want to buy. And they're always coming out with new ones. So yeah. Yeah, the Harry Potter's on my list. I'd like to get my hands on the Hogwarts. And a few others. Okay, so... So you crochet? I crocheted a bit. My mom was into a lot of that. So you're sitting around watching TV, you watch your mom knit and crochet and needlepoint long enough. Eventually, as a kid, you want to try it. So I've done a little bit. It's been a long time. I couldn't remember how to crochet to save my life. I, I'm not sure if I've seen that one yet. Oh, you make stuffed animals? Cool. I think the last craft I did was needlepoint. There are a lot of people in here who actually do the occasional Lego stream. Um, and munitions. She's a big FPS player. First time I found her, she was actually building the Millennium Falcon. She took her 2 days, 3 days, and then she went back to Pikachu. I like Pikachu. I do play Pokemon Go. Too much sometimes. Okay. So do you stream crocheting? I know, I'm pretty sure I've seen at least one person that was doing crochet. And I've seen that pixel art. I've seen um, feeds of that as well. Yeah, I know the feeling. I was at a party with a friend. They asked me if I would go, and I said, "Yeah, sure." So while they were all talking and whatnot, the background noise in a pub or a restaurant or a bar, um, I find the background noise very relaxing. It helps me think. So I wish I brought a book and a pen and take notes down for other streaming shows I want to work on. You have the smaller Millennium Falcon. I know there's a. Actually, I don't even know how many of them they've made. I've seen at least 3 Millennium Falcons, if not more. Okay, so now here. Okay, so now what I have to do in this is I have to snap that into the front. Now, generally, when I'm building, I don't want to do any lateral pressing because to try and hold this end down while trying to insert, if a tool slips, something goes flying off the table and I might lose pieces. So I try to make everything a downward vertical build. So for this, I would want to build an actual stand. I mean, for a speed build, yeah, this isn't necessary, but that's not the premise of that I'm working on. Is that? I don't think that's going to fit. Yeah, since they changed the tag system, I'm not sure how well all the creative people are doing in terms of finding an audience, and audiences find them really easy. I mean, it's nice to actually go to the page and you don't see Asmer starting off with like 8 people. It's like, well, if you're into Asmer, great, but what about those of us who want to be creative about other things. You know, it'd be nice if we ranked a little higher and whatnot. So, so okay. Now, I don't know if I want to. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I just go to that category now and see who's out. Unfortunately, some of these pieces I bought in bulk. And it turns out some of it's not Lego, so they don't fit together. Oh, okay, there we go. So I've got that braced in there almost rock solid. Okay, so now the piece can't get away from me, and as long as I'm careful, nothing should shoot across the room. Okay. I think I call these pliers the jaws of life. So I was able to put that together without any real risks of pieces flying everywhere. I mean, it's a lot of building just to be able to do this particular step. I did that. I had a bunch of Technic sets built and whatnot. The only problem is they collect dust, and to try and get the dust off them is a little more difficult than I expected. So when I realized the dust was building up and building up and I wasn't going to dust them, I just took them all apart and put them in Tupperware. Yeah, well, I mean, I've only been at this. Oh, this is only the sixth. This is the sixth series. In each of the series, there's only 2 episodes to do a build. So this is my sixth shot at this, and I'm getting better at building tools that work. So yeah, that. Yeah, so it's just a question of figuring out how to use an air blower. Yeah, I thought about those glass lids. You know, you see cakes sitting in restaurants with. I thought about trying to find those, but then that's awfully expensive. And I've seen people who use glass cabinets, but I didn't have the room and I really didn't have the funds for that kind of thing. So I think for the most part, I'm going to end up building stuff and then taking it apart shortly afterwards. Although now I actually have a potential audience for doing that. I know there are people who actually like watching Lego streams when the builders are sorting. So they're disassembling whatever it is they have around and sorting out everything and putting it away. People actually like watching that. And I have to admit, I do too. There's something calming about that. Okay, so as I said, I had to build a fixture for this build, so that's why there's a notation for it. The notations, one is for me, but also hopefully as the notation develops, it's something other people can use. So if they try the builds or they try their own builds or anything, they have a method of recording what they did. So people can actually compare notes at some point. I'm working on a website for Arctic's Empire, and I have to figure out where people can post their notations to see how their builds went and compare them to other people. Assuming this takes off, I don't know. I really don't know if anyone would be interested in doing this. I think if you make ships in a bottle, you might want to try this, but I don't know how many people there are out there that make ships in a bottle. Page 9. Okay, well. sometimes when Lego, is what I'm learning now is when they enter a subset build, they might restart the numbering, so 1, 2, 3. So I just put the page number and then the build numbers, the steps. So this is page 53. Steps 1 to 2. No, this is step 9. No, my mistake. It's just step 9. Okay. Add machine guns. Can't add machine guns. There's no machine guns in the list. Oh, I'm trying to figure out kinemorphophobic. Fear of movement or fear of no movement? Fear of being buried alive, maybe? Kinemorphophobic. Kinemorphophobic. Huh. Generally, yeah. Unless it's a puppy. I don't know that. How are you? My name's Arctic, and this is my stream. Arctic's Empire, and you are watching this Lego is Lava, which you might be able to piece, is all about building a set without touching it. And so the bot tools and other Lego is excluded, so you're allowed to use it to build necessary fixtures and tools and whatnot to continue building. Fear of zombies. Damn. I thought it was fear of being buried alive. So what happens if there actually are no zombies? Does that make that a potential phobia? Although I'm aware there are instances of zombie behavior in the natural world, including zombie powder. If you've ever seen the movie The Serpent and the Rainbow, is based on part fact of voodoo magic making the zombie powder. I'd like to welcome you to my stream. As you can probably see, I need 11 followers now to help me make affiliates. So, as I normally say, how do I say it? Follows are free, so please feel free to follow. True, although I think the fear of spiders is legitimate. I mean, they've got 8 legs and they walk in a very creepy way, so. Oh, I don't talk about the monsters under the bed because, you know, they like to visit me and remind me they're there if I dirt them. So yeah, I don't talk about them. Yeah, not at all. Okay, so that part is done. Whoops. Is that there are, what was it? There's an insect that infects the host and takes over its motor functions. It hit the news about a year ago. They're saying that, you know, it counts as sort of a zombie of sorts. Okay, so now we're into the pins. So this is where one of the tools comes in really handy. spider. Well, spider's a phobia. Oh, if I grab it. Okay, I thought you meant the monsters under the bed do that. Sorry. Okay. Where? There you are. Okay. So that one won't do it. And I don't think this will do it. Oh, it does. Awesome. Okay, and I see. Damn. So I'm still working on this particular fixture. I made this. It's got a blue pin that goes straight through and partially into the next beam. So if you pick up a pin, the pin can't seat itself and lock in. So it works great for doing other things. The only problem is I have yet to build a really good stand. Actually, why don't we do that? I thought this. No, that won't do it quite yet. But if I do this. Okay, so I now have a better holder. So you put the pin in there and then you click that on the top. So yeah, I know it's hard to see, but the pin hasn't seated itself completely. So because it hasn't locked itself in, you can now, I have to, yeah, and it releases it very easily. And then, well, I guess in this case, no, wait a minute. Wow, that's cool. So then I can use it to pick up the, oh, come on. Okay, I'm going to have to address that. Certain parts will try and seat themselves into the stud in the inside. But now I have a holder to snap into place. So okay, so we do that, then that. Okay, so that is going to bother me, so let's fix it. Yeah, sorry, I thought I explained it. Yeah, the set I'm building is lava, but Yeah, yeah, it's something I just came up with a little while ago. This is my sixth series. Each one is only 2 episodes long. Uh, Mind you, full video, 4 or 5 hours, sometimes for some of them. Yeah. So the Lego set itself is lava. All this extra Lego is not, and I use that to build the necessary tools to do the build. So right now, this is a holder. I guess we'll do it that way. There. So to do the next step in this build, I can then take the pin and put it in here. I then use this tool to grab it. Come on, there. Okay. So now I got the part there. I used to work in factories, so hence the reason why I do this, I guess. Yeah. So then I can snap the part in there. Then I take the part and then I snap it on here, and it's done. No. Um, I like Lego, and nobody does this. So if I'm looking for an audience, they say generally when you're going to stream, find something you like, you enjoy, and then take a look at what everyone else is doing and see if you can figure out a different angle or approach to it and try it. So I mean, people enjoy the show so far. For those who've seen it, I don't have a big following, so as it says, I'm still looking for 11 more follows. To just build would be boring, definitely. It wouldn't take too long for that, but given the problem solving part of the builds, that makes it more interesting. Yeah, it's kind of a good thing that Twitch wasn't around way back when, because I probably would have come up with the same idea. Although, oddly enough, I haven't had a drink in 7 months. I decided to quit for a while. I wouldn't want to Twitch drinking. It just, I don't think it's a good idea. Okay, so now I could build bracing around the part as well to keep it from sliding, but I'm gonna just try and quick step this particular phase. So yeah, so in terms of a factory job, this is how factory work works. This is also how the engineers build the systems to do the job. So this is still not great. So there's the pin, there's the socket, and yeah, there we go, and on it goes. Cool. Now yeah, if I had a clamp, then I could just hold on to it. No, it's a submersible. That was about an hour and 45 minutes to build. So, as you can see. Now, I put a handle on, so I can pick the piece up this way, but the rest of it's still lava. Yeah, no, it's a submersible. There should be pictures. Yeah, pictures in the upper right will show you what it's supposed to be. Oh, I appreciate that. And as I said, a follow doesn't cost you anything, so I'd appreciate it. I need the help to make affiliate. Oh, Vitriol, how are you? I hope so. Unfortunately, last night Twitch did the recalculation for my last 30 days, and a good stream that had a lot of followers got removed from the calculation, so I'm at 2.45 viewers now. So I actually need 0.55 more viewers as well as 11 more followers. So yeah, I kind of took a small step backwards, but I'm here and I'm still streaming. I don't think a lot of people seem interested in watching this kind of stuff late at night, during the afternoon on a Friday. But this is where the show has gotten to now, is lots and lots of tools to do simple things. Whoa, that is not good. I'm still trying to perfect this part of the build. So the pin locks in, and because there's a blue pin inside that goes partially into the second beam, the pin can't lock into place properly like it wants to and like it's designed to, which means I can snap it into place and it releases. Now unfortunately the lower part keeps seating itself in the bottom. If I put a tile in, which perhaps I should really consider finally doing, if I put a 1x1 tile inside, I don't have to worry about it locking into place again. But yeah, what's supposed to happen is, so you get the pin on the tool and then you lock the pin into the socket, and then from there you click it into place and release. Okay. So that part of the build is done, and more notes. So yeah, so let's make that page. What page am I on? What the hell? So Vitriol, how are you? Yeah, no, that's the whole point actually. The Lego set itself is lava, but the other Lego you see are tools to try and put it together without actually touching the pieces. Yeah, so this part is the actual set. This is not. So I built this to hold the part because the pins they're too long. So that holds it into place while I put these two pins into place. And to do that, I have 3 tools. This is for the pin. This holds the pin, so I lock it in. Then the pin gets locked in to a barrel, and then the barrel gets put on the part. Yes, this is how I've decided to try and build Lego. I can proudly say I'm apparently the only person, and perhaps the first person to ever do this. Doesn't mean anyone wants to watch it though. So that is an actual piece of the set. So that's lava. I can't touch that. This is the prior sub-assembly. That is most of the submersible. As you can sort of see, I mean, you've got your propellers, oxygen tanks, the fins, lights, and that's the cockpit. And as you can see right there, there's the dome, which eventually will go on it. That is a handle I built, so I can actually pick up the piece this way. But yeah, I can't touch the set itself. You're not supposed to touch. So what's going to happen eventually with more and more sets I do, I will find out which sets can be done this way and which sets you actually at some point will have to use your hands. I'm guessing the Technic sets are going to be that way. Like, that was the last build. That's Series 5. This particular part right here required, I don't know, 8, 10 tools in order to put it together. This was a really great learning process right here to build that specific part. I put the chain, the tractor treads went together without using my hands. They were really easy. You just literally put one down, put one on top, and then you would just take the back of the pair of tweezers and snap it into place. Yeah. This was a great learning build. Okay, so no, I'm just starting, so I think this is 300 and something pieces. I've done a few other 300s. I think the smallest Technic set I own is 1,000, and then they go up from there. So I'll be doing them. It's not hard. I recommend eating, to make sure you don't have the shakes. But I mean, my hands shake anyway. So, but I recommend eating, and after that, it just takes time to think it through. So it's not just about building the set. It's about figuring out what tools you need to build to complete the build. This is when you get to solve problems. So you get to build and problem solve at the same time, which is actually the really rewarding part I'm finding now. And it's just my hope that people take an interest in it. I ask if you're here. I need the follow. Like, I'd appreciate it. It's free to follow, so feel free to follow. I am 11 shy of affiliate. And once I make affiliate, I'm able to spend time and stream other shows as well. I do plan on doing a Technic build of just the normal way, because I really like Technic sets. That's what's really got me back into Lego. And I enjoy the city sets for some reason. They're simple, but they don't take long. They're not complicated, so I enjoy them. They're fun, quick builds. I also have very old Lego sets. I have antique Lego sets. Thank you, Stab Stalker. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I have a Lego Technic set that's 40 years old. Actually, I have a few. So at some point, I want to do an antique build show. Just bring out all my old Lego and build them. I'll probably do them the old-fashioned way. I won't do them this way. I'm not sure how brittle the plastics become over, 40 years? And again, thank you for the follow. I believe I need 10 follows, and then I get to declare myself an affiliate. Yeah. One step in many steps. I guess you can say the Twitch thing is kind of like Lego. Okay, so this stage of the build is done. Notation's done. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting farther in this build because there are axles. And I have tools designed specifically for dealing with axle assemblies. And there's probably more tools I'm going to need to make to build some of this stuff. Oh, yeah? I don't know much about Ninjago. I saw the movie. I really did like the movie. I've seen a few sets. I might start picking them up and see if I can build them this way. Someone did ask me about Bionicle Sets, if I thought they could be built this way. I suspect they can't be. I have a bunch of them I picked up at a thrift store, and when I took them apart, I noticed the way they interlock certain pieces, the way they're assembled, looks like it might be impossible to actually build them as lava. Or there are definitely stages where I don't know what it would take to solve the problems. So, which means I'll probably end up trying to build a few just to see. Hopefully in 6 months' time, 3 months, 6 months, I'll have the money to be able to buy the giant Millennium Falcon and the big Hogwarts set that just came out, and try and build them as well. Okay, so we can put you aside for the moment. Okay. Over here. That, I need to buy any more tweezers. I broke these. They came insulated, but I'm pretty sure I cracked it in here somewhere. They line up now, but part of the problem I'm having is when I pick up pieces, if the tool slips, it snaps and goes flying. I'm calling it kicking. Sometimes the parts get kicked, and I'm terrified of losing pieces, especially with my bad floor. It will eat Lego and never return it. Oh yeah? Well, yeah, you'll often hear me say dots. I hate dots. This one's easier to see. I call that a dot because it's so small. And here's one without the stud. And I've actually had it happen where I try and pick it up and the tool slips and it kicks. And then I gotta go find it. So you'll often hear me say dots, and I hate dots, and I hate dots. I really do. I hate these pieces. Kind of like to find a more elegant way to put this together. But so far, no. This is going to be the straightforward, old-fashioned way. Oh, I think we have more people in here. Well, to whomever's joining, my name's Arctic. This is my show, Arctic's Empire. And, well, the show's actually This Lego's Lava. The Lego set I'm building is lava, so these pieces are. That is, but that's a handle I've attached. Any Lego that's not part of the actual set is not lava, so you can build tools that you need to finish the builds. So as you can see, I have lots of small tools and fixtures and jigs and stuff and stands that I've built in order to be able to build the set. This is second. I think this is the third set that I've actually really put an effort into building tools to complete the assembly. Yeah, because there's only 6. This is series 6. And there's only 2 episodes for each of the series. So the show's still fairly young, fairly new, fairly young, not very old, innovative. Oh, see, now, dots. I hate dots. And to do this part, I'm actually going to build a stand to help hold it. I need dots, and as I said, I hate dots. I really do like the level of detail they put into LEGO these days, but if you're gonna build sets this way, it's not so much fun. Okay. Now the best tool I got for dealing with dots is this. That's a plier. The black coating is wire insulator. It's a shrink wrap. So there's a bunch of tools that I just put this on. I do it one because it helps grip, because steel on hard plastic, you don't get a lot of good grip on it, so it helps with the grip. And two, a lot of the tools have teeth, like serrated edges, very fine tool marks, and I just don't want to mark up the Lego pieces, so that's just intended to... Oh, we got a problem. I can't... That is not going to work as well as I'd hoped. So let's try this one. Yeah, I can't get in there. Okay, so there we go. So that's built so far. Other tools, yeah, I have 3 different sizes of hemostats, and each size has 2 different shapes, straight and curved. So that's also the insulation. Shrink with a heat gun, you just shrink it on. I don't use these ones very often, not yet anyway. Okay, and I have to build 2 of these, so I'm going to take that, put that there. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm going to build it this way. So I'm just going to put a tile in here to keep the part from seating itself into the bottom of the plate. You could also build it upside down, which I've done once or twice. Actually, why don't we do that this time? Let's build it upside down. Okay, so there it is upside down, which means I'm just going to let go. That's better. Jeez. Okay. Now, drop. Whoop. Difficult, fine, we'll do it that way. We'll clamp the end after you're in place. Okay, so now it's in place. There you go. Okay, now for the part we hate, dots. I've built this set before, the normal way, and I'm curious as to how I'm going to deal with the little bits that get clamped onto here. I've been sorting through the sets I have to try and figure out which ones would pose new kind of building challenges, and I'm afraid I might be at the end of that. The only real challenges now would be from Technic sets, but I don't want to do a Technic set just yet. Come here. Okay, so that's those two built, and that was and now, okay, now, damn, I took it apart. I had a stand for this. Okay, so the question is, how do we mount the torp? Oh, well, that's supposed to be an oxygen tank as well, or batteries? I mean, either A, you drop the barrel on the pins, or you drop the pins on the barrel. Actually, let's start by laying the barrel down. Okay. Now, thinking we can actually clamp it into place. Yeah, because the spacers allow us to actually clamp this down completely. Nope, not quite. Okay, so that holds it partially. Now, so the question is, do I have two of these? Where did I put it? Okay, that's weird. Oh, there it is. Okay, so yeah, these are designed for picking up things by their pins and not locking themselves in place. So that allows you to pick up the piece, and then now see that I was worried about. Some way to keep the barrel from spinning. Actually, yeah, there we go. So, there we go. Okay, that's one. Now the problem is how do we pick it up on the second case? Not exactly an elegant solution, is it? I think we have someone new in here. I'm not sure because there's no notification. Plus, with all the computers that are scanning all the Twitch channels, so I don't know if it's a computer or a person. But if there's someone out there new, my name's Arctic. This is Arctic's Empire, and this show is This Lego is Lava. Which from the title means the Lego set I'm building is lava, and I can't touch it with my bare hands. All the other Lego you see is not lava and is being used to build tools and fixtures to help me assemble the set without touching it with my hands. Okay, so what I've done is I've attached this centerpiece with the barrel, and I have to attach the barrel on the opposite side. So the barrel's it's clamped down in a fixture, sort of. Unfortunately, the barrel can turn. I haven't incorporated anything to prevent it from turning, although I do have this. Perhaps let's see, can we do something with that? I have, or do I? This might have what I'm looking for. Okay, so there we go. So what's happened now is there's a pin in the barrel which is preventing it from rolling on me, so I can insert this straight in. Now I don't have, well, because what no one knows about this particular tool is that it is a clamp. Oh no, that clamp worked differently. Okay, so how do I solve this problem? Oh, okay. Okay, so what I'm thinking of is 2 pins in the top on a handle, and then I can drop the piece straight in. Now the problem is I don't want the pins seating themselves, because then pulling them out becomes a serious problem. But that is... Well, thank you for the follow. May you never run into zombies. So I need 9 followers. 9 followers, and then I get to be an affiliate. Which is what all the cool kids want. Okay, I have an idea how I can do this. Let's grab some pins. One by one. And okay, so pick that up, put you there, and then just to give a little more of a grip. Okay, so I can pick up the piece. Now because there's a spacer between the beam, the pins don't get a chance to lock themselves into place. Or at least that's my theory. That's the premise I'm working with. So now I can pick up the piece. Oh, damn. I need to adjust this. There we go. Okay, so now I have a pin in the side that's mounted and holding it in place so the barrel won't turn as I put this into place. And oops, I cheated. Sorry. Pull that back out. I cheated. I apologize. No, this. I can only hold it by the handle, so there. So all of that for that. It's a lot of work, but as I said, it's fun solving the problems. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to organize my workstation so I have more room for all of this. But yeah, so okay, and then we have to release it. Take that clamp off and take this clamp off, and there we go. As I've said before, I'm hoping the video footage of this, I mean, I haven't given a lot of thought about what angles to be working with so as to illustrate how the tools work. Okay, so yeah, we already noted that, so that gets put aside. I'm going to put that in the tray. Now, okay, it looks like we might get a chance to use tools specifically for dealing with axles. It's just hopefully to prevent the axles from rolling off the table. Unfortunately, I keep having to reuse pieces to make new tools, so it means I'm out of the original tool that I used for this. I've taken it apart. Alexa, next. An elegant solution to this problem. Nothing comes to mind. Except this is all I can come up with at the moment. Not an elegant solution. I'm not thrilled with that. But, okay. So now we need to mount them on the ends. So we can stand it. Oops. So I'm thinking if we build a stand to deal with just one of the pontoons, I guess is what we'll call it. Perhaps that's all we're going to need. Okay, so I've got one stand to hold up one pontoon. And if I have to, I can switch them around, but so by rights I would want to. Really? Okay. I think in this case I'm going to want to countersink. Well, I'm not sure countersink is the correct term. But just drive the axle all the way through. And that's just to help position it where it's supposed to go. And then we can just push it into place. So this was actually the first sort of tool I used. I used it for putting, whoops, I used it for putting tires, putting the rims inside the tires. There we go. There. Okay, I should actually give thought to making a program to do the notation. That way you can timestamp them. Perhaps give me, let it read off the stopwatch. Give me a, oh no, the stopwatch won't work. Time off an actual clock. No, that work? Just some way I can find the points in the video demonstrating the use of tools and development of them, and be able to find them quickly. That's just page 60. Oh. There we go. Okay, and focus back, and the little blue pins. Oh, half pins. Actually, they're a little more than a half a pin. one blue pin, and well, so they go on the top. Theoretically, did I take it apart? No, I didn't take it apart yet. I don't know if this will work. So there's just enough surface to put a clamp on and snap it into place and release. Cool, this works. I do have to figure out a better solution to dealing with pins, because that I'm not happy with the kind of play there is, as you can see. Now, with the piece being so short, it's not that difficult, but with the other, some of the pins are longer. So just hold that down and release. Oops. I didn't know it would do that. Apparently I'm adding notations to the Lego book. I just hope it doesn't try and save it. 13. Okay. That's not an axle, that's just a rod, I guess I'd call it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I'm thinking by the time I'm done this, I will hopefully come up with a very cool way to... I mean, the more times you have to do something, improves the chances of building a better mousetrap, as it were. Okay, so they go on the end. How do I go about this? Excuse me. Okay, so I don't have to worry about the inner part of the tube seating itself into any Lego piece. So I think for a quick solution. Oh, that works. Oops. Okay, well, I need some way of standing that up. Doesn't seat as far as I'd like it to, but, oh. That might be helpful. Okay. So what is the smallest flat tile I have? I don't exactly have the greatest selection. Not like other people's collections. I mean, I can't imagine the stuff Nick's got. does it fit? It's not horrible. The question is, should we go too wide? Now, what happens when we put that in there? Ah, there we go. No, I think based on that, we're going to go one wide. Because that should help wedge it into place. Otherwise, too much pressure is just going to roll right out of the socket. Okay, oops, and let's put your foot back on. Okay, so then it'd be a question of inserting. So okay, and actually no, back it up one more. No, right. Just give me a normal pin, please. Okay, so let's see what happens when we... Whoops, we're out by one position. Now, okay, I gotta just take one out. Do this pin. Come on. Oh, that's why. Dummy. Okay, so drop it in place. Whoops. Now, yeah, no, not quite. That's the way it's supposed to go. Okay, so with a a slight clamp. Okay, so with the clamp going, so I've got lateral pressure on the top, which should allow me to, whoops. Ah! My experiment is failing miserably. And there are people here who saw that. Damn. Okay, so I need more pressure on the back. Okay. Now I'm just going to see how well that's seated. No, that seats properly. So the concept works. It's just ugly, unfortunately. And still doesn't answer the question how I'm going to put on the other end. But whoops. Don't be doing that. I still got 22 pages to go. Let's move everything down. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, I should back this up because. Sorry. I kind of got lost in solving the problem that I forgot to include you. So it works. The problem is this part. I can't. Oh, it's only meant to hold it, so. Just trying to think if there's any way to offset. Longer beams, light. That's 2. Part of the process works kind of well, but this part not so much. Well, let's try it without the cap. Let's see what happens. Okay, so now there is not enough way to get enough clamping force to keep this rod from just sliding through when I try and push into place. Yeah, no, there has to be an end cap on it. What if this would allow more force? So perhaps changing yeah, folks, I don't know how to solve this problem. There's just not enough friction. It just doesn't work. Although, if we double it up with a longer pin, let's make one a little longer. Oh, wait a minute, I got plenty here, so. Well, that holds it in place. Question is, how do you hold it? That works. Okay, so that works. Can we? I don't know how to get my hands into it. Looks like sideways. No, that's not gonna work. We're at 2 hours. I may. Oh, there might be someone else here. Hi, my name's Arctic. This is my stream, Arctic's Empire, and I am struggling to solve a problem with this Lego's Lava. I am trying to figure out how to insert the rods into these little handle things without touching them with my bare hands. So I have a small stand to hold the one piece in, and I'm just trying to figure out a way to hold on to the part in a way that I can then push it in. So this solves part of the problem. It's just I can't get enough force. At least I don't think I can. I don't think I can exert enough clamping force on the rod to make this work. Or can I? Let's see. No, that seated it. Okay. Normally I don't touch them, but I've been struggling with this problem for a while, so I'm just like, forget it. Let's speed up the process of solving the problem. Okay, so then this one then goes in. This piece goes in. So I'll set the distance I want. And then I'll clamp it. So yeah, so by doing that, I've clamped the rod. And with enough force, it should, well, we'll see. Yeah, okay. Now, unfortunately, it broke my clamp. Let go of my clamp. Alright, so it works. It's not elegant. Not as elegant as some of the other solutions I've come up with for other situations, but happier. Now the issue is I have to then put the same thing on the other end. So the question is, how do I solve that problem? Okay, so then clamp it into place. The clamp can open. So the clamp opens. And then it's a question of there's a hole in the side. I mean, ultimately, if I had to, I could do it this way. That is not the kind of solution I want. Now, I think I might actually back this process up and start over. There might be a way if each end is secured, allowed to bend up, to put the rod in, bent, and then just straighten the rod. Push the rod down and it'll lock itself in. try a little reverse engineering. Okay, so what can we build for a clamp on each side? That is very frustrating when parts get stuck. Okay, so that is useless. Let's see. So presumably could do that. So that would. Okay. But there's a distance problem in the back of the design. Okay, now what if we just okay, it's really in there. I'm just concerned that I might be damaging the part. Perhaps not. No, it won't come out. It rattles, so I'm not damaging it. So that's one side. I build one for the other side. You can just get it in there. That might work. Let's back it up one. So it can fall out, but it's got nowhere to go. So if we put pressure in, so if we try and force that in that way, okay, so what happens if we do this? Okay, so what we got for tiles? Here we go. So if I put that there, that makes more sense. Wow, that's a lot of space. So I don't want that on the other. So we're looking at something like this. Oops. It would be nice to build something that looked like that. Put the pieces in here, and as you push down, it would clamp everything into place. It would just snap. Ideally, I think that's what I want. And at that point, you're getting to a semi-automated solution, which I think is kind of cool. Well, I think I'm going to take a break. I have errands I have to run, and they're time sensitive, so I appreciate everyone who's here, everyone who was here. I appreciate the follows from Braddington, Stabstalker, and Kinematophobic. It's going to take me a while to get that one. Thank you for the follows. I think I need 9 follows now, and then I make affiliate. I appreciate everyone's help. My name's Arctic. This is Arctic's Empire, and you've been watching This Lego's Lava, Series 6, Episode 2. I am currently debating on how to solve this assembly problem. I mean, I can strong arm it. I don't want to. That's not the point so much of the build. The build is to try and figure out more elegant ways to do the assemblies. So I have an idea what I want, and I'm just going to spend some time thinking about it. I do intend to stream later tonight. I'm still looking for those 9 follows to make affiliate. So I will be back probably later today or later tonight, depending on where you are on the planet. Okay, I just want to thank everyone, and I will be back. I hope you all have a good day. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to find someone to send this to. Sorry. I'm usually in here by myself, so finding someone to raid never factors in. Oh, and now there's more people. Damn. Timing is everything, as they say. Unfortunately. Oh, mate, 89. Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. I need 8 more now, so I'm getting there. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I was actually going to take a break. I have some errands I have to run before it gets too late. Yeah, I'm just at a phase in the build that I'm not sure how to solve the problem. Basically, I'm trying to think of an elegant way to build that. 2 pieces for the rod in the center, and I'm trying to figure out how to put them together. So I've come up with some not great solutions for it, so I'm going to spend a little time thinking about this while I run errands. It's too bad. Yeah, so I gotta find someone to stream. So who can I stream to? Where are we? Wow, there are some people on. I didn't think anyone streamed on Fridays. I thought I was the only one. Sorry it's taking so long. I'm using my tablet, and my tablet is not stellar. Okay, I haven't rated this person before, so let's read them. I know they're part of the community. Okay, so I'm going to send you to Deep, or is that Desp? I'm not sure. Okay. Fortunately, I can't stay long, so I have to get my butt out of the house. This is such an archaic way of doing this stuff.